Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Ike Live. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday night. I know I am.
Mike, we have an announcement.
Big announcement right now.
Yes, we've had some answers. It only took a couple hours to the trivia question from an hour or two ago.
Trivia question to the question which was, what jig inspired the Man Stone Jig? And we have some answers. Eric, the intern.
All copied.
So, Ike Live's biggest fan got very close. He said the Riverside Big Wag, which is not the jig.
It's not the jig.
The Riverside Big Wag was a worm that
worm.
looked like a gator tail worm.
Looked like a gator tail.
Right? It was
very close.
Riverside
Yes.
was the right company.
Yes, very company.
But the Big Wag is a worm.
The Big Wag is a worm.
And then
yes.
Shortly after that, Cressy finally got it right. Flippin' Jig from Riverside is the correct answer. Right?
It's a Riverside Jig.
It's Riverside. He
It's
said
a
Flippin'
Riverside
Jig,
Jig.
Riverside Jig.
Yeah.
That's got to be close
Okay,
enough.
we'll give that to him. Cressy, you are the winner of the Ike Live gift pack. Cressy. Yes. Yes. Dave, Pete, I don't know if you knew this, but Stormtrooper
new guest
showed up on the couch during the break. Stormtrooper, how you doing today?
Very well indeed.
Stormtrooper, I know you fished for a long time, and I know
Yes.
early on, way back 80s, mid-80s, late 80s, early 90s, Riverside and the Riverside Jig was a favorite of yours. You want to talk about that?
Correct. For indeed, we did fish in the Riverside Jig until it went away, and Man Stone Jig totally took the template.
The Man Stone Jig took the template.
It had a smaller hook, which made it less effective than the Stone Jig.
Now, what about trailers? I saw something in your resume about
Yes.
Big Wag and about Air Claw.
Sure, for sure. So,
Air Claw.
I won very many top rod tournaments on the jig with a big claw cheddar,
Yeah.
green cheddar, full, not bit, and beat many of these fools in the room.
Now, I want to go way back and
Go.
specifically
Hit it.
want to talk about a tournament on East Lake
Listening.
where the entire field caught
Yes.
nothing but pickerel.
None.
And somehow Stormtrooper caught 3 bass flipping to win the event.
I've
I
never
did.
won big one.
No, 3.
Indeed.
3.
So, listen closely. It was all on a jig. But it was not Riverside, it was indeed.
Rattleback.
Yes!
Oh! A rattleback!
With a big claw cheddar.
Oh!
My nephew at the time, who was 10, landed each fish and managed to land on every rod in my crawdad like it was a hammock.
I remember
Laying
that.
on them. I wanted to kill him.
Wow.
I remember that.
That's amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you.
Great win.
Stormtrooper, what's the biggest innovation in fishing in the last 10 or 15 years,
Oh,
in your opinion?
oh boy. Let's see here. The Hobie kayak.
Oh, kayak!
I have successfully traversed the Delaware River in it.
Wow!
Yes. Stay tuned.
Wow. That's amazing.
Thank
now,
you.
that's great.
I did.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Now, talk a little bit about rods and reels. Stormtrooper,
Certainly.
you're a big guy.
Go.
You're powerful.
Yes.
You like weaponry.
Certainly.
A lot of guys go ultralight, borderline sissy.
Gay.
But talk a little bit about what kind of rods and reels and actions of rods do you use?
For sure. Everything is 7 foot or higher. Medium heavy. No less than 20-pound braid in the face. This 6-to-2 ratio reel, no less. Gay otherwise. Next question.
Okay. It's a great segue.
Thank you.
It's a great segue because Eric the intern.
Slightly disparaging.
I do want
What?
to talk to
None.
you. Huh?
Get off me so I can take the helmet off, please.
Brian,
What happened?
Next shot, please. So I can
get
take
the
helmet
shot off the couch. So we can, Eric the intern. Speaking of rods and
Prisoner.
reels, there's There's a Ike Foundation Kids event tomorrow.
Haddon
We're
Lake.
giving every kid that's pre-registered, over 200 kids, a Ike Dude ultralight combo, either a spin cast or a spinning. It's a really cool little deal going on. The ultralight spinning is not necessarily a kid's ride.
No, it is not.
You
So
wanna
here's my
talk a
side of
little bit
this.
about
So
the Ike
yeah,
Dude
yeah.
spinning?
So I do a lot of things at Pro Edge, and one of my jobs on Wednesday was to spool all of these spinning rods.
Hundreds of rods you had
Yeah,
to spool.
which is, it's
mackerel.
fine. Doing my job. But halfway into this process, I got the idea to take one of these rods with me to North Jersey the next day. So I remember looking at you, I was like, hey, Mike, I'm going to take one of these up north. I'm going to catch a 5-pounder on
Yeah.
it. And you
It's
looked at me,
called
you're,
shoplifting.
Eric just admitted to stealing from the kids.
Yep, that's true. That's true. That's a fact. But I looked at you and I
Taking
said
candy
that.
from a baby.
Stealing
And
from
Mi-
the mouth
Mike,
is a pole.
well, then Mike was an accomplice to this because he said, do it.
I said do it.
But
yeah.
I could tell, you didn't really think I was going to go up there and catch a 5-pounder.
I didn't know.
Maybe,
I didn't know what was going to happen.
So I bring it up there, and I had an awesome day, man. I had almost 23 pounds for my best 5.
Wow.
And 3 of the 5 fish, smallmouth and largemouth, I weighed in that, or would have weighed in that day if I had a bag, came on that rod. And I have some footage right here to pull up.
I'd like to see it.
Yep.
And let everybody know, real quick, let everybody know, ultralight rod.
This is the same exact setup the kids are going to get
What
tomorrow.
pound test? This is
6-pound
interesting.
test line.
6-pound
Handled
mono.
these fish.
I want to see this. This is unbelievable.
It's just a couple little highlights. It's not
Same
like the full
rod.
clips or
Amazing
anything.
hit play.
Oh, it's not crop. Hang on. Not crop.
Shocking. Round Valley Reservoir.
Not Round Valley, you're wrong.
Oh.
So this is the 5-pound largemouth I caught. I saw him blowing up on an alewife over there, and I started casting to it.
Ike Dude combo is it. Oh!
You hear that drag going?
Whoa, look at that.
Working flawlessly.
Ooh.
And yes, I netted this fish. That's the one, baby. You can all make fun of me if you want.
6-pound line.
That's the one he needs.
That's the one right there.
Good job on the fight, E. Something right forward.
There it goes. Ike Dude combo. Wow.
Damn,
The rod I
dude.
caught him on. These setups are going to be given away tomorrow at the Ike Foundation event at Haddon Lake.
Damn, E.
Look at that.
This is 5 minutes later.
Hey,
This is 5
absolute
minutes later.
slob.
Oh!
Oh, look at that.
I saw that.
You saw it bend in
I
the
saw
reel,
it.
dude.
Oh, that's a smallmouth. That's a giant smallmouth. Oh my god!
Good job, E.
Is the camera on?
Oh, look at the rod. You see the rod
Same
fall?
setup, baby.
Wow.
Beautiful fish.
look at
That's
that.
4 pounds all day.
Insane.
Not quite 5. I said I was going to get a 5-pound smallmouth on this setup on the Instagram.
Stop bragging.
But that's pretty close.
Wow.
that's the
nice
dad
job,
yesterday.
baby. Wow.
Great rod. It handled those fish perfectly, and I'm happy that the kids are getting a great
Wow.
product tomorrow.
He's a savage.
That was awesome.
They're good catches.
6-pound test. Savage,
I only
man.
wish that E was around when I showed up tonight with my video to edit.
Oh, here we go
Lord,
again.
that some bitch wasn't even there.
He was fishing.
He was
Yeah,
in
I
a
had
different realm.
Yeah, he was fishing all right.
We're going to have a conversation.
Different
after this,
dimension.
Dave.
His mind was in a different realm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Real quick, Rebecca, Miss Rebecca is making a special appearance in the back. Beck, you want to get on the mic? You want to say anything about tomorrow's event at
Speak.
Haddon Lake Park, Ike Foundation Kids event? I know it's pretty much full, but you want to talk about it a little bit?
Sure, I would love to.
Okay.
So, so yes, we are full. We are maxed out at 200 kids. We're super excited.
All right, thank you.
Every kid that shows up is going to get their rod and the reel. They're going to get everything they need: the hooks, the worms, the lures, everything they possibly need to go fishing, including, suntan lotion, sunglasses, making sure
Gonna
we're
need
keeping
suntan lotion
everybody protected. It's going to
Really?
be warm tomorrow. It's going to be
Thought
hot.
you would need a raincoat.
But lots of prizes. Every kid gets, like a hot dog and chips. Like we feed them Rita's water ice. Johnny Venor is going to be there, making
Johnny.
sure the kids are nice and cool with their Ritas. But no,
I
it's
wish you
going to
would
be.
give us some Kitech jigs.
Wait, why did you say us?
Instead of the
What are you, a
Ritas.
kid? What, you a kid?
Did you say Johnny Venol? Cristofonso.
It's gonna be a great time. We stocked the lake earlier this week,
Yes.
so these kids are gonna be whacking some fish, which
Very
is
large fish.
very exciting. And yeah, we've got a ton of great people coming out, volunteers. We've got casting demonstrations. The kids get to paint their own lures. The Boy Scouts are coming, so lots of great stuff just to kind of get the kids into the outdoors and give them, some inspiration of stuff to do.
True or false? The ladies from 710 will be there.
They're just gonna walk back. Real quick, Beck.
Local humor.
Real quick, Beck. While you're here, Ike Foundation Celebrity Pro-Am,
Oh.
Yeah.
July 20th and 21st. Some big announcements in the last week. You want to talk a little bit about that? And how can people register for the Ike Foundation Celebrity Pro-Am?
Right, so you can go online to our website, theikefoundation.org, to register. You can sign up to fish out of your own boat with up to 2 other people. So there's always 3 people per boat. And any price you see is for all 3 of you to be splitting. It's not per person. Or you can fish out of a boat with a pro. You can also be part of our kayak tournament. The kayak winner gets a berth to the Hobie Worlds.
What?
This year, once again, someone's going to be winning an awesome Bass Cat boat.
That's right.
Rumor has it, I think we might actually have a motor on the back of that boat this year for the winner.
Yeah.
So huge prizes. But here's the coolest
Back
part.
to the kayak.
So we've got some amazing professional anglers coming out that you potentially could be fishing with or against. And we have some really cool celebrities. I feel like half the UFC world is like a bunch of fish heads, and they're going to be
That's what's up.
joining us.
Thank to Brian the Carpenter. Talking them.
But I'm going to do one of those.
Let's get some names.
Adam Milstead, Clay Guida.
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 Clay the Carpenter Guida.
Clay Guida,
Jim
Miller.
Miller's coming out.
Hell yeah.
Shaw Grigsby,
Shaw Grigsby.
Yeah, he's a UFC star for sure.
Hell yeah.
Gary
Shaw
Klein.
Grigsby's
Gary
coming.
Klein. No, Aaron Martin, Steve
Aaron
Kennedy,
Martins, Boyd
the
Duckett.
Zaldanes are coming, Boyd Duckett. So we've got some really awesome anglers coming.
Ed Bassmaster.
Ed Bassmaster.
He'll-
Let's talk
he'll-
about the celebrities of the kayak division. Big project.
The Stormtrooper will be fishing. But listen, I'm going to pull a mic and say that I might have an announcement of an announcement.
Oh.
Kate at the foundation has been working very hard to potentially get some football players out.
Ooh,
So we might have some names to
Eagles.
announce soon
Right.
that
Super
are
Bowl
going to
champs.
make y'all
That's the
want to
kayak
come out.
division.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're checking their schedule, but we might have some
Okay.
pretty
All right.
cool dudes out there.
Okay. All right. Cool dudes, she said.
Cool dudes out there with us. Everyone's a cool dude. Don't take
Is
offense.
Trent coming back?
I don't know, Mike. Is Trent
just
coming
said-
back? Did you have a chance to talk to him?
No, could be.
He could
Could
be.
be. Not confirmed yet.
We just had
And
another-
he's homies with Fletcher Cox, who I stalked his Instagram page, and he loves to bass fish.
Really?
Yeah.
Fletcher does?
Yeah. He's
Oh,
like
Carson
holding up
Wentz.
like 7-pounders and stuff.
7 pounds.
I donated $1 today to Carson Wentz Foundation. I
Yeah.
bought a Chick-fil-A breakfast sandwich.
Big baller. Don't
$1
mind us kayak guys. Are we allowed to breathe in this event?
What
Or
are
do
you
we
gonna
have to have
read it?
pads
What are
on?
you doing? I don't even know what you said.
I said, can we breathe in this event? Or do we have to have pads to breathe? Can we breathe?
All right, I want to know, John McGraw, you going to fish Ike Foundation event this year? And if you do, what's
Am I
going
gonna-
to be your strategy?
Not fish with Brian.
That's the deal you talked about. 70% of the time, it's bad,
All I gotta say is,
but 30% of the time, it goes amazing.
all I gotta say is, Brian Stockwell is like a Hall of Fame baseball player. Right?
What does that mean?
Yeah,
He
where
can
is this
fail
going?
70% of the time and still make the Hall of Fame. Right?
Shenanigans!
You know what I mean? Right? Nah.
Shenanigans!
I mean, I don't know.
I
know,
declare
man. It
shenanigans.
Dude, here's the interesting thing, Pete.
John, go into detail about that.
No, I do. I want to get Pete's opinion on this.
No,
It's
just-
hard to win that tournament because, dude, there's
It's not, Pete.
there's not one strategy that works. Like, you've been consistent. but you haven't won.
Nope.
You got to put
There's
time
not
on the
one
river, man.
Well, that's
strategy.
because those guys
Exactly.
hole jumped me in
No,
the last tournament. They stole my fish
Right.
because I
Oh,
was
God.
hamming it up to the camera, doing stupid YouTube stuff like Eric. and I failed to get to the point before those guys did.
Shame on
when
you.
they caught a 4-pounder on the exact point that I was heading to,
Wow.
which wins the tournament for me. So I'm not doing any social media until after the tournament.
After it's over.
Wow.
I beg you to ask yo Sancho how hard it is to win. The Miller brothers went home with his boat.
Oh, they did.
Did the Miller brothers put a motor on that boat yet?
Probably
Nah.
not.
Oh,
Nope.
do you know?
They are probably sitting in it, drinking beer right
sit-
now.
Is it still sitting in Jim's backyard?
It's in the
Oh man.
He's
It
got
is
bales of
collecting-
hay in it, shooting arrows at it.
Oh Lord,
Is it growing tomato plants yet?
it is.
John,
Oh,
so
all
let me
jokes.
switch you. What would your strategy be for this year? Give me an idea of what your strategy is going to be.
Fish with Mike Centaur.
That's a good strategy.
No,
It's a good
absolutely
strategy.
not.
That's a winning strategy.
Well, Mike spends a lot of time on the water. You know what I mean? The thing is like you need to get out there and you
Not
need
as
to
much
put-
anymore.
Yeah.
Got a
True.
new job.
Yeah.
True.
But
Thank God.
Yeah, you need to get out there and you got to understand what's going on.
Yeah, that's the problem. Me and John never got out on the water.
Yeah.
We got, what, a half a day on the water?
Yeah, I got
both
one
tournaments?
day, and me and you got a half a day.
Yeah.
And then the year before, you and Mike got a half a day.
Yeah,
a
that's
day,
just
and
not
I
gonna
got
do it.
one day.
Excuses or monuments of losers.
Grown-ups got to
You
work,
you
man.
Actually, the thing is like, and it goes back to what Mike says, is like you got to practice. You got to
Yeah,
know. You got to know everything that's going on.
Brian
in-
knows
in-
what's going on in that river.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
gotta be
used to
honest. I gotta
know,
be
10
honest.
The
years
thing
ago.
is like, here's the thing. Is like what I knew about the river like 3 or 4 years ago isn't the same as
No,
what
it's
it is
not.
now.
No, it's not.
Right?
Things
And it
have changed a little bit. Things have
You know what I
changed a
mean?
little bit.
There's a lot of things that as far as like heights of the water column and what knows in on
Right.
underwater and
Right.
what's up above water. That's always never going to change most of the time. And you know what? And even though last year, me and Brian we rolled in a spot that was always underwater that wasn't underwater.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so the things do
No
change.
tide.
Yeah,
Well,
but when you have a low tide at 7 foot, that's
Yeah,
that's a
I can
big-
I can
that's a
tell you
big
this.
thing.
My honest opinion is that the northern
Sucks.
section of the river
Sucks.
is becoming a
Talking
player
about
again.
Oh yeah.
That's
It's
definitely
safe, Mike. It's safe.
No, I'm telling you,
It's safe.
I think it's starting to
Well,
reverse. a
won
little bit.
last year.
It won last year. It's
Took
starting to reverse a little
second the
bit.
year before or
Yeah.
third or something.
And then here's the other one
There's
that
stuff up there.
surprises me. In the 2 or 3 years of the Ike Foundation tournament, it surprises the shit out of me that no one has won in the Rancocas River yet. It's bound
No,
to
that
happen.
doesn't surprise me at all.
No,
No,
it
no,
surprises
I
me.
went in
No,
there.
not at all, dude.
I went in there
It
and
surprises
I practiced.
me.
But
I
you gotta
went
know
all
the
the way
Rancocas.
back.
I know you got to know the Rancocas.
And it's years to know the Rancocas. It's not just going and practicing the Rancocas
there's some
for the
good
first
ones
time
out,
ever.
man.
my
That's a
you know,
complicated river, dude.
the
Yeah.
way that I've been fishing these tournaments would win a multi-day tournament or at least contend
Oh, yeah. Without
to
a
win
doubt.
a multi-day
That's right.
tournament.
That's
Without
right.
a
It
doubt.
would.
But it's not winning the day.
The day.
And I'm re-strategizing.
Yeah.
I'm retooling
Yeah.
to this year to win the day.
Yeah.
And I haven't decided exactly what that's going to look like yet,
Yep.
but that's going to be my goal.
Let us not forget. Newton Creek and Cooper River for the kayak division.
You know what?
What do you think, Mike?
That's true. Yeah. I still like Cooper. I like Cooper over Newton. I like Cooper.
Last year, Cooper was drawn low cause of the rain, sucked all the fish
Now,
out,
see, that's a bad thing.
but
when
they
that-
don't know.
Right.
Newton won.
Yeah. Yeah. Barring the water level dropping, Cooper River.
And they
would
always
win.
mess with the water level there. And the
Always do.
the scullers. How did they affect the kayaks?
Not at all, because if this vote was going to be won, it was going to be won in Camden. They don't go over there. They stay over there.
Come on, up the creek.
Camden
No,
over
they
there.
don't. Well, size. If you're talking about size,
You got to go to
you want to go
Camden.
to Camden. If it's a regular tournament, you look for numbers.
Right?
Go to Haddonfield and you blow everybody away.
Otherwise, you
It's
go to
8-fish
Newton
limit.
and catch.
But this is inches.
Yes.
This is on inches.
It's 3 fish.
So you got to get three big ones.
Oh, okay.
And it
Okay.
is the
Camden.
longest 3 fish. They've been
Camden.
not 12 fish.
So
all 6, all 5,
so-
all 4.
Early on, Are you going to Camden or are you going to Newton?
If they don't drain this damn place like they did last year, yes, Cooper River will be where I'm at. Otherwise, Newton. One drain, Newton.
One drain.
Two drains, absolutely Newton.
Is that the only two options for the kayak division?
Yes. Where else are you gonna go?
Why are you hollering at me?
I don't know. I'm German.
I feel like I'm watching MLF.
What?
What's the guy, Scott, that just... Welcome to the MLF.
Oh,
the guys are... He's always hollering at me.
Are you talking about Shelly Sanders?
Lurch.
Yeah, Scott.
He's always
Lurch.
hollering at me.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
are we going to have Shelly Sanders?
I tell you, I watched the MLF in the last week. That was fascinating. The sudden death. It was amazing, except for he was hollering at me.
Yeah.
And
MLF's a great property. Great
Stop
format.
being offended.
and Megamind
Don't be a puss.
doing the commentating.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Jake calls him.
Yeah.
Jake was watching it with me.
Yeah.
Megamind?
Because he got a big head?
Yeah, he's got a big bald head.
Oh, okay.
Looks like Megamind.
Marty Stone?
Marty Stone.
Megamind? Damn.
Wow.
Damn, Jake.
That's good.
Jake hit hard.
Jake's hitting hard, man.
Yeah, talk about kids. You know what's funny? So, a funny story. My son just found out the other day to another parent who was an informant. My son was apparently running a ring at his school using my snack lunch money to buy. They get these paws. They're called paws because, like, the team. What are you guys chewing? Fucking nachos back here?
That's Pete. That's Pete chewing.
Pete.
Dude, I've been listening
Oh,
to
you
you,
can't be chewing ice on the.
listening to you breathing heavy and coughing to the microphone all night.
All right, I'll finish.
You
Sorry.
can't deal with a little chewing?
I may have done both. Listen, long story short, my son got busted leading the ring. They have these paws for, like, when you get awarded for doing something good. They get these paws because, like, the anthem or whatever, the mascot of the school, some kind of cat.
It's like
He
a
was
lottery
using.
pick.
No, I was financing this thing. He was
It's
using
like a
my
lottery.
money on the snack tip to buy paws off other kids, and he got to lead the pep rally based off, like, bought paws that he didn't hurt. Yeah, man. He was totally
That's
running like a
awesome.
scam, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was upset about it. If he's watching, he knows it wasn't good.
Wow.
He did wrong on that, but I caught him.
Got a couple
Actually, other
girlfriends'
parents caught
numbers.
him. They ain't got the girls' numbers.
Nah, man.
It's third grade, but he was,
Yeah, right.
no doubt. He was. That's why I said his mom's half Italian. I said if you were at least half or more Italian, you wouldn't have got caught. I said because you were a quarter Italian, you got called as Polish.
You got too much Polish.
Yeah,
in
you
you.
got busted, dude.
All right. Speaking of Polish, we're gonna continue on, and we've got Pete a really current topic right now, which is exotics,
Invasive species.
invasive species. A lot of this happening right now, all across the United States, all across the world, really. But
Hamilton, too.
yeah, but you're talking grasses, you're talking zebra mussels. There's so many different things going on. Snakeheads. The list goes on and on. But it was really brought to everyone's attention. It's kind of forced to the forefront last week on
It was
Kentucky
shocking
Lake.
to me.
Right.
I didn't know they were in Kentucky
A lot of people
Lake.
didn't know. A lot of people didn't know they were in there to that extent. And then you saw social media posts from elite anglers. And
Mark Menendez
Yep.
on stage.
on stage, Timmy Horton on stage. You saw posts, and then you saw guys talking about it during the weigh-in itself, live. So, I think this is a great moment to talk a little bit about it. Eric, the intern, we're going to open up to the IMs are open, and we want to get everybody's opinion on it. But we've got, when we thought, hey, who's a bigger expert on this topic than anybody? Gene came to mind, and he's from a standpoint of conservation and fish biology, he's the smartest guy I know. So we're going to get him on the phone. We're going to talk a little bit about the Asian carp problem that they're having in Kentucky Lake and other places. So, Brian, do we have him on the phone? I think we do.
We do.
Okay, so joining us live on the phone right now is the BASS Conservation Director, one hell of a guy, really smart guy. We've had him on the show a lot. Gene Gilliland joins us. Gene, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Gene, I've butchered your name so many times. I've got my last name's Iconelli. Your name seems real easy, but I've seemed to butcher your name several times tonight. But thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you. No problem. It's been that way for all my life that people can't quite figure out how to pronounce it. But hell, my dad pronounced it different from my mother did. So
well, enlighten us, Gene. How should we be saying it?
I say Gilliland.
Gilliland. Okay.
So, yeah.
That's good. That's
the way you said it.
That is the way I said it after I wrote a note about
Gilligan.
it. After I wrote a note about it. Gene, I think for a lot of people it's not new, but I think it was brought back to light after last week's event on Kentucky Lake. The bigger issue of exotics and invasive species, and then more specifically Asian carp, big head carp, almost seeming like it's taking over Kentucky Lake. Do you want to start from the beginning? Like, is this new? Has this just happened, or has this been a gradual process over the years where these things have gotten into the system?
Right. Well, these things escaped from fish farms in Arkansas probably 20 years ago, and they've migrated up the Mississippi, up the Ohio. They come through the locks at the Kentucky Lake Dam, and they got into the Tennessee River about 10 years ago. So they've been in the system for a while. When this whole thing kind of blew up, I got on the phone and talked to the Kentucky and Tennessee wildlife people to find out what their take on it was, and they're doing everything they can to try to control the population so that it doesn't become a real problem. It's a problem, but right now it's one of those things where they're not seeing a lot of real big changes in the bass population. They may live in different places, they may behave differently, but as far as numbers, what they're seeing isn't a whole lot different than what they would normally see in the average ups and downs that you see over, say 10 years or so. But it could get a lot worse. And to the point where it is like on the Illinois River, the river that connects that they're trying to keep them out of the Great Lakes. Where there's such a problem up there, where they make up like 70% of the total numbers of fish in that river.
Right.
And the thing that I think that really is kind of a problem is that Congress and a lot of state legislators are so focused on keeping them out of the Great Lakes that they're forgetting about other places that they're going.
Right.
Congress has put $50 million towards a process of trying to keep them out of the Great Lakes. Kentucky and Tennessee, the amount of money they've gotten from the feds to help battle it is like $400,000 compared to $50 million.
Wow.
So the big thing that they're seeing, it's a matter of money. Right now it looks like the best way to control these things is going to be with commercial fishing. The guy from Kentucky was telling me that the numbers in Barkley Lake are actually lower than Kentucky Lake because there's more commercial fishing going on there. The problem is the commercial fishermen are not doing as much as they could because they can't make any money. The price per pound of these things is just not high enough for people to get into the business.
Right.
And so that means that the government's got to subsidize it to make it work. And the only way that's going to happen is for people that live in Kentucky and Tennessee and Alabama and Mississippi, anywhere along the Tennessee River. They're going to have to get emails and personal letters and sent to their state representatives and to their congressmen and say, this is a big deal. We got to get people mobilized to write your congressman. I know that sounds kind of corny, but that's what it's going to take to try to divert some money, some real money, to get these things under control. I think if we can knock them down with commercial fishing, we can get to a point where they're not going to be detrimental to our bass fisheries.
Right.
But if we don't get something done, in the next couple, 3 years, the populations are creeping upstream. They're already in Pickwick. They're working their way towards Guntersville. I mean, it's a bad deal, and what's going to fix it, unfortunately, is throwing money at it. And the way that's going to work is people are going to just have to start complaining a lot more to their elected representatives.
Right. Outside of commercial fishing, is there other solutions to control the population? And do they have is there a natural predator to an Asian carp or big-headed carp?
There's not really. They grow so darn fast. That's part of the problem is that they're filter feeders. They don't feed on other fish. They filter out the plankton. But that's the base of the food chain for everything else. But there's some other kind of science fiction stuff going on right now. They're trying to develop some special hormone stuff that might sterilize the fish. They're talking about trying to do some crazy things where they introduce fish into the population, had their genes altered so that as they spawn with each other, you wind up with a population that's mostly males, which once that happens, the population crashes. And they're doing stuff like that with some other species of fish. So there's a chance that it could work. But there again, somebody's got to pay for it.
Right.
And that's where we get hung up. That's the kind of thing that it's going to take a lot of pressure on Congress to get something going on this.
It's funny you said that, Gene, because that same hormone that you're talking about, Eric the Intern took that, and he's
it's the metrosexual hormone.
Yeah.
You're trying to give those guys.
Yeah, Eric spawns mainly with other males, so that.
Hey, Gene, it's Dave. Gene, it's
Asian
Dave.
carp.
Hey, Gene, it's Dave. I got a question. In terms of commercial fishing, what kind of impact is there any that you've estimated it would have on the species we're targeting in terms of largemouth bass?
Oh, next to none. Commercial fishing is, as far as the impacts on bass populations and the forage, shad and stuff like that. There's going to be a few get caught, but in the grand scheme of things, it's very, very minimal impact. The kind of nets that they use, the places they set them, are just not going to be the kind of things that are typically going to catch bass. One of the reasons, for years, when state agencies are sampling black bass, they don't use net because they're such a poor way of collecting fish for getting a sample.
Right, they electrocute.
So,
right.
Yeah, you use electrofishing for the most part. Yeah. So that's one of the good things is that the commercial netting it's pretty targeted, and I don't think it's a big concern from the standpoint of catching bass in their nets.
So, from your professional opinion, what kind of a price tag would it cost to be able to net these things?
Well, that's a $64 million question. It's one of those kind of things where do you want to keep looking? I mean, Tennessee River, then you got the Ohio River, you got the Missouri River, they're in the Red River, they're in the Arkansas. These things have spread pretty much throughout the Mississippi Basin up until they hit a dam somewhere that doesn't have a lock on it. And if there's a lock on it, they go right through with the barge traffic. So the things are spreading all over the place. And, you talk about nationwide control, you could be talking about hundreds of millions of dollars to be able to make this thing, to get these things under control.
Yeah.
Until some of this science fiction stuff kind of comes true, it seems like that commercial fishing is really the only viable answer that we have for controlling these.
Who's eating these things?
Yeah,
Where's it going?
Are they selling it for dog food, or what are they doing with it?
The market's in China.
Okay.
the problem is, by the time the commercial fishermen, spend all their money on nets and boats and all that kind of stuff, the processors process the fish and then they ship it overseas. The price per pound, I guess, that they're getting for it is just not high enough for a commercial fisherman to make a profit. And, well, you don't get into business to lose money. So the only way this is working right now is that the states, Tennessee and Kentucky, are having to subsidize that price.
Sure.
And they just don't, the states just, that's somebody's fishing license dollars that are probably being used for some of that. And maybe the state's kicking in a little bit of general tax money, but it's not near enough. Right. And that's where we've got to get Congress to pay attention to the fact that this is not just a Illinois River Great Lakes problem. And then I'm not downplaying that. We sure as hell don't want them to get into the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
I'm up here at Lake St. Clair right now. We've been smallmouth fishing all week. And we sure don't want to get these things, into Lake Michigan and throughout the Great Lakes, because then they jeopardize, a huge sport fishery up here.
Yeah.
Gene, there's a picture.
So,
Gene, there's a picture.
But it's not just a Great Lakes issue. It's definitely something that's a lot bigger.
Right.
And that's where the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and Congress need to be taken to task and say, look, we need a little love here too.
Right. Real quick, I just want to say, my experience from last week there is, I had the first day of practice, I pulled into a little, sort of like a little drain, and pulled in, dropped the trolling motor. The noise of the trolling motor dropping into the water spooked a giant school of these fish. I'd say in the thousands, and had these fish jumping in the boat. Had 3 flop in the boat.
Did it look like that?
Wow. It did look like that picture. It did look like that picture. Throughout the practice, I was side imaging, and I saw them from 2 feet to 25 feet in the thousands on my side imaging. So obviously, they're changing the way that we fish for bass.
Right.
It's changing it. In fact, give you 2 quick stories. And again, I know these things by the book. They feed on plankton. They feed on algae. But we had Wesley Strader on tonight earlier, Gene. Wesley said he caught one in the mouth on a crankbait.
Yeah.
I'm good friends with Ish Monroe. Ish had 2 of them come up on a frog in practice. 2 of them come up and try to eat a frog in practice. So, I guess.
Well, now let me throw in a little wrinkle here.
Okay.
When we talk about Asian carp, there are 4 species, and they all have a little different diet. And one of the things that I didn't realize until I called Kentucky folks the other day was that the silver carp are the ones that jump and get in the boats. There's a big head carp and a black carp, which basically feed on other stuff close to the bottom. But the grass carp, the kind that eat the vegetation, have been shown now to be reproducing in Kentucky Lake, and they will eat a frog. And they look similar,
right?
And so there's, they come up and they'll eat grass and stuff. I mean, you put them in a farm pond and they eat up all the weeds. They'll jump out on the bank and eat the Bermuda grass off the lawn around.
Right.
But
right.
So there's a whole, when we talk Asian carp, it's kind of
there's a lot,
a group of fish that are all, then they're all a problem.
Right, it's not just one. Now let me ask you this.
Right.
I'm going to call you the plate on this and just straight up ask you, is it true that they named the big head carp after Dave Brodzik?
No comment.
Okay.
You can say yes, Gene. You ain't going to cut me, Brad.
Politically correct.
I guess the next thing I just want to ask is, after the backlash and the feedback from the guys last week, and we've heard terms like this, the Tennessee River fisheries are going to be destroyed. The Kentucky Lake is ruined. It's just a matter of time before Pickwick and Wilson and Gunnersville will be decimated. Is that fiction or is that true?
If there is nothing done to control the populations, I think those could come to pass. It's just that we're not there yet, and there is a chance of keeping that from happening if we can get ahead of it. Right now, the fisheries guys were telling me that the plankton populations and all of that kind of stuff they measure in Kentucky Lake aren't that much different than what they normally are. So even though you see thousands of silver carp out there, they haven't had a real detrimental impact on the lake's, ecology or anything yet. That's kind of the key. 2 years, 3 years, 10 years down the road, if we don't do something, it's going to get a lot worse. And that's where you run into that situation like they have in some of those places in the Mississippi drainage and the Ohio River and the Illinois River, where the carp basically have taken over and pushed out pretty much all of the other the game fish and everything else. I know the guys that in the Bass Nation that fish the Illinois River for decades have said, it used to take 20 pounds to win a tournament. Now it takes 12. And a lot of that is because the productivity from a sport fish population standpoint is just not there like it used to be because there's so many pounds of carp. And that's kind of the scary thing. If we don't do something now, I don't know. I don't want to be pessimistic, but I guess I am a little bit. If we can't get Congress and the state legislators off their butts to realize that this is a real problem, and the economy. I mean, you think about Paris, Tennessee, where you guys were at the tournament. That town lives and dies on bass tournaments.
Yeah.
And there's towns like that all up and down the Tennessee River.
Yeah.
Florence.
Absolutely.
Pickwick.
Yeah.
Gunnersville.
Yeah.
Those communities, Dayton, Tennessee, at Chickamauga, those are the kind of places where the economy is a big deal. And maybe that's the tactic that people need to think about. If they're writing a letter to their congressman, they need to say, I love to fish, and it's going to screw up my fishing, but it's also going to screw up the economy of a whole bunch of places up and down the Tennessee River if we don't do something. And maybe that needs to be part of the letters people are writing.
Yeah.
It seems like this is a short-term solution, to get funding for netting. I mean, it seems to me like, we've got to be, you're talking about using some science, but what about are there any natural predators? There's got to be.
No.
Overseas.
No.
I mean, hillbillies.
Fish.
That's the problem.
Bass-eating hillbillies.
Once they get established, they reproduce so fast and they grow so fast that they outgrow pretty much anything. I mean, when they're 3, 5, 6, 8 inches long, okay, bass could eat them, big blue catfish, whatever. But they grow to 12 to 14 inches in a matter of months.
Wow.
And so it's, that's the challenge is, and that's why they think that if at some point if you can commercial fish them down to where it's, we're never going to get rid of them. Once they're there, they're there.
Yeah.
But we can manage the population and keep their numbers low enough to where they're not hurting anything else.
Let's go back to this farmer that allowed them to escape.
Yeah, well,
what in the world is he doing? Why was he raising? Why was that being done?
I don't know what purpose was. But here's what I heard.
They were brought into the country as a food fish. They're very popular in Asia, and they're obviously there's some market for them from a food standpoint. But they were also brought into the country to put in sewage lagoons to help treat water, like in water treatment facilities. Because they can live in really nasty water, but they can help clean the water up.
They're pooping.
And they were raising them in these fish farms. They had some big floods. The fish escaped into the rivers that connect into the Mississippi, and away you go.
Why the hell don't bass breed like that around here?
I don't know. I wish they would. Now,
I'm sick of 'em.
Gene, real quick, I've got a couple comments that are coming through on our Ike Live social feeds real quick. Rob Rockwood from Runnymede, New Jersey says, the Asian carp grow faster than Brian the Carpenter's penis. I don't know what that means. Here's a serious one.
Boo.
This one comes through.
Boo.
This one comes through from Dave Kashkin.
Not true.
What?
It grows very fine. Thank you.
All right. Gene, this one comes through from Dave Kashkin, and he says, here's the solution. Just get the bass-eating hillbillies from Texas and Louisiana to start eating the Asian carp. Problem solved. Good comment, Dave Kashkin. I think that's a good one.
Unfortunately,
Feed the
there's nobody
strippers
keeps
the
enough
carp,
bass
too.
anymore to make a difference. So, I don't know. I don't know where it's all going to go. It's a sad deal.
Yeah,
if we don't get something done pretty soon.
Yeah, I can tell you this. I think the great thing, Pete, and we've talked about this before. The great thing about bass events is they highlight the good and the bad sometimes, and that causes action. So I think it's great that we're talking about it. I think it's great that the pros last week have mentioned it. Gene, thank you for coming on. I think it's great that we're explaining the situation to people so we can take action. We can write our congressman. We could talk to our politicians. So, knowledge is power, man. So I'm glad we're talking about it,
And Gene...
And Mike, next time you go to D.C., hey, there you go.
Yeah.
You've got another topic that you can hit those guys with.
Yeah.
Yep. And Gene, we expect you to have this issue under control by next year.
Counting on you, Gene.
I'm working on it.
Hey, Gene, Brian's goes, more strippers, less carp.
Oh boy, I don't know. Gene, thank you for joining us. Thank you for enlightening us on the topic, and man, we appreciate it. And thank you very much for coming on. And we've got you on the hotline now. Anytime, anything from a biology and scientific standpoint we need to know, we're just going to call you.
No problem.
Hey, Gene, do you know about strippers?
Yes. Strippers or stripers?
Stripers.
Yeah.
Hit me up on Instagram.
Oh, Gene, thanks for joining us tonight, man. We appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you, Gene.
You bet. Thanks,
Gene
guys.
Gilliland,
Appreciate
everybody.
Thank you, Gene.
Gene. Wait a minute, Brian. Did you say real quick? I know we're running tight, but did you have we have a special caller coming in?
Yes.
Who's coming on the phone right now?
Jin Kang Kung.
Okay. And
Topaz.
Topaz.
all right, and joining us now on Ike Live, and this is his first public interview ever. I'm so happy to have him on here. We always like to get Dave. We always like to get both sides, John, of the poll, right? We heard from Bass. We heard from the pros. Now we're going to hear from the culprit himself. And joining us now, live from Kentucky Lake, is the Asian carp. Asian carp, how you doing? Good to hear from you, Asian carp.
I'm not gonna freaking cop that. Dude.
What? That's Asian carp right there. Asian
He's
carp.
eating everything under the sun.
No, it's all right. Asian carp.
Growing like 12 inches every 3 months.
Asian
Come on,
carp.
who you kidding?
I know you get a bad rap, and you do look a little funny. Your eyes are set below your mouth, but let's hear it from you. Let's hear from you. How do you feel about this whole thing?
I was let go and
Your eyes look just like that guy.
I was let go to Arkansas. They didn't tell me where to go. I eat everything.
That was fucking,
What?
That was awful.
Wait a
I think
minute.
your eyes drop below your mouth.
You.
I thought his head was gonna freaking explode.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me
That's
you're
horrible.
not taking credit
That's the
for any
worst
of
thing I've ever
this?
seen.
I mean, why do you reproduce so fast? Why do you grow? And why are you messing up the bass population?
I don't care about these guys. Beep! I just eat and shit!
He put you on there.
Did you just show me?
Showed you, man. From character.
Oh, I thought that was the Asian carp talking.
I didn't know it was you. I didn't know that was you. I didn't know it was him, Pete.
I didn't either.
That was so
Damn it,
stupid.
Brian.
Dude, that was Brian's attempt to be like, come on, let's get on with the show.
That was the dumbest
We got
thing.
2 more things. Come on. All right, Asian Carp, thanks for joining us. Hope you don't decimate. And what were the 3 words? I hope you don't decimate, destroy, and ruin the entire Tennessee River system.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Asian
guys.
carp, you're an asshole.
Man, that's crazy. Asian Carp. Brian the Carpenter, we do have, man, what a show, Pete, by the way. Let me recap it real quick. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We've got about 20 more minutes left. Hang in there with us because we got a couple important things coming up. But, dude, what a great show. Wesley Strader, Kevin
Think
Van
he's going to
Dam.
win that tournament?
I think he's going to win. Dude, how can he not win?
How
He got,
big a lead does he have?
Brian the Carpenter, how big of a lead? Wesley Strader, 2 pounds? Eric?
I believe it's 5 pounds.
5 pounds.
That's a
Dude,
big lead.
that's huge on Lake Norman. That's
He's
like
gonna
that's
win. We
like
better
10
check
pounds
that.
anywhere
He's gonna
else.
win
Someone in the
back-to-back.
comments.
Oh, he's gonna win
someone on
back-to-back.
the IM
He
board
said that
that.
all he needed was 11 or 12 pounds tomorrow and he felt comfortable,
Yeah,
right?
Yep.
He-
You know?
he could do that.
Yeah.
Peace.
Pick up a shaky head.
Yeah,
and just
but
go fish docks.
honestly, I hate that mindset though.
I know.
You know, you
Now you want to kill.
You
You got to think
Yeah,
about it.
he
I
being
would
a
rather
killer.
be in
I don't
third,
know.
knowing
Yeah,
where
but-
big fish are living right now, than being
Right.
in first. Dude, you
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard to be a front runner.
Yeah.
It really is in that sport, man.
No shit.
You start up on your first spot and it goes south. Man, the wheels can start spinning off quick. And I hope. Well, obviously Wesley can adjust. So
He's a
Yeah.
beast.
Yeah.
he's gonna crush it.
He's different than us.
Yeah. He's amazing. Speaking of Wesley, Brian, here's a good segue for you real quick. The last one of these that Mark Jeffries did, good friend Mark, on Bass Zone,
Thank you.
1-on-1.
he does a one-on-one tournament, and the last one he did was Gerald Swindle against Wesley Strader.
G-Man was great.
And they both did really good, but Wesley came out on top. Here's the next one. Is the next one-on-one on BassZone.com is live on May 30th. Listen to this matchup. You ready for this?
Eric
Brian's
the Intern
Mule.
and
Brian-
Dave Brosnan.
No.
Brian's Mule versus Dylan Gowski's Black. BBC.
No.
No.
Mark Jeffries' next one-on-one live, May 30th. Mike McClellan versus Jeff Crete.
Wow.
That's a good one,
Oh, yeah,
man.
that is a good one.
McClellan versus the Squirrel. I like that.
The audio.
Squirrel
on that
is
alone,
awesome.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the audio.
He said something at the MLF thing where remember the sudden death where he was leading. He had 16 pounds before anybody caught a fish,
Yeah.
and he was fishing slow. And he goes, "There ain't nobody in this field that can outslow me." He's always got a squirrel comment, and it's always good.
And I have a note here that the next one-on-one is May 30th at 1 a.m. Central Time.
No, 10 a.m.
Oh, okay. Did the zero not come out? It says 1 a.m. on it.
Hey, relax.
All right. 10 a.m. Central Time.
Don't be so judgmental.
What
Keep-
else we got?
No,
for
keep going.
announcements here?
Keep reading the BTL announcements. He's got some cool
Okay.
stuff coming up.
All right. The next, this is next big
Read
thing.
the copy, Mike.
I'm reading. Here's the cool thing about Mark Jeffries and Bass Zone. Dude, he's always got something very unique up his sleeve. And he's going to make a live announcement on May 31st at AM Central.
AM Central.
Yep, I'm reading my script. Exactly
Come
how
on,
it
dog.
is.
9 a.m. It clearly says 9
AM
a.m.
Central.
Son of a bitch.
Will announce new live show that has never been done in the history of bass fishing. Just like Ike Live. It's not going to be for everyone. It won't be. It'll be for select. But if you are the select, if you have game, if you have a hairy, furry, droopy, saggy set of balls, then this is your chance to show your game.
I'm out.
Put up or shut up.
What is Otis?
The classic trophy has been found.
Oh, wait.
Dancing with the Devil.
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
20 feet deep.
Come on, you're making.
Debunk.
Come on.
FMJK JK.
Go on.
Praise the Lord. Mike Iaconelli.
I don't know what the fuck I'm reading here.
Yeah, you just
None
ran
of
too
this
much.
makes any sense.
You just ran 2 lines together, and you didn't confer with the
that's
producer
even
on
better.
any of this.
Yeah, listen.
That's garbage, Michael.
We got to do this one serious because this is next level journalism in bass fishing. dude. It seriously is. Yes.
You know what?
Yes. Brian, do you want to take it
All
over?
I want to fire Mike.
I thought we were like locating the shroud and
No, we're not playing here. Mark Jeffries.
Opening up
What?
Capone's friggin'
You're being asked. You're being asked to read a script unprompted, and it didn't come out right.
BTC, pick it up.
How freaking dare you, Pete Klusick, master of show up 3 minutes before it's go time.
BTC, pick up Mark Jeffries.
So Mark's got the 101 live, right? That was topic number 1, and then he's got another thing popping off. I actually know what it is, but I can't say. But it's pretty badass. It's the hairy ball thing Mike was talking about.
Are we doing we're making an announcement that we're going to be making an announcement then?
Allow me to
Mark
finish.
Jeffries announcement.
Allow me
So
to
you
finish.
can't talk about it?
Mark said he's going to make an announcement of an
Oh, all right,
announcement.
all right.
And then the other thing is the upcoming 20 Feet Deep, which is badass.
Who is it?
It has to do with the classic trophy that has been found that was once lost.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it's a big deal, Pete.
It's a
Yeah.
big deal. It's an
I
awesome.
heard about that.
I heard a little bit about it. It's pretty badass.
Mark did some like.
Somebody sold the classic trophy.
What was it, Robert
Yeah.
Hamilton?
It might have been.
I don't know who it is. I guess we're gonna have to watch 20 Feet Deep.
Mark did some like
it's
Pulitzer
badass.
Prize type shit on this, dude. Like it's legit.
Really?
man.
Mike, sit
It's
down and get
serious
your act
stuff.
together.
20 Feet Deep's badass.
Look at you getting all dialed in the
I'm
internet.
serious about
stuff.
about him. He's like our Cronkite, right? Like the rest of us are retards. He's like our Cronkite, dude.
Dan
Like, that
Rather
dude's
of
serious.
Bass
He's
Fishing.
our Dan Rather.
Dude, you're sucking up to Mark Jack. All you do is bust his chops all the time.
Listen, don't you for 1 second tell me I kiss his ass because I'll kick your fucking ass out
No.
the door.
No, I do want to say you do have to say that Mark has vision in what we're doing
He
more
created
than
this
anybody.
show.
He did.
Mark is fearless.
Oh, he's fearless. But flat out, Ike Live, Bass U Live is directly a result of Mark Jeffries. So that's
Agreed.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
pretty
you. Thank you for acknowledgement, Pete. You suck. Punk.
He also created Jark Meffries.
He did. That's right.
We're not fans of.
What?
Awesome, though, man.
Wait a minute, what? I'm not fan.
And Aqua Boy.
And I'm self-conscious.
Oh, I think we might have a caller on the line. Pat, you there, bud?
What's going on, guys?
We have Pat Renwick from Stray Cast on the line.
Pat Redwick, everybody.
Pat Renwick.
Hey now!
Oh, hey now.
I got the
Hey
ginger.
now!
I got
Hey
the
now.
ginger ninja next to me.
Hey now.
Hit-
Hey now.
Hit him with the hind!
Hit him with the high with the low, ginger ninja.
What's up, Pat?
What's going on, guys?
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm just making some delicious Asian carp stew, and I am putting some sex wax on Dave's kayak.
Oh, smoothing it out.
Yeah.
Wow, we got a picture of you up on the screen, man. You're looking a little different.
What do you got?
I don't know. Brian found a picture of you somewhere. It looks
Toothy.
I'm not watching.
man.
Go ahead, Pat. What do you got for us, bud?
Wow, it's a nice tooth.
Nothing, man. Just enjoying the show here. It's a good night, man. The best part about Ike Live, I think, is when you guys do the Stand By Me story. When you guys get the old childhood stories going, man. I love it.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I'm seeing Dave. He's in convulsions on the screen. I just walked over to the computer. What happened to Dave?
You get a look at the screen and see what Brian did to you. Your good buddy, your consigliere, and he dogged you. Look at it. Look at the screen.
Now, Pat,
I can't see it. It must be behind the time or something.
All right, Pat, you coming up for the event again?
Oh yeah, it's the gerbil. Is that the gerbil?
I don't know.
I
Pat,
see.
are you coming up again for the event?
100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude,
Yes.
So listen, you are
Yes.
invited to the garden for
Yes.
a legit northeastern Italian dinner, my friend.
Yes, yes.
All right? You're
Nice.
And we're not talking Olive Garden here.
No.
Is there all you can eat Alfredo breadsticks?
No, it's my wife Mel, her kitchen.
Yeah.
You bring in a Ginger Ninja, or you bring in somebody else? You
no
bring in
Hillshire
JP.
Farms.
If you're bringing JP,
We
we're
don't
going to
even
Burger
know.
King. What are you doing?
we just plan like the day in advance. So we'll be there. We'll be there.
You and the Ginger, or are you bringing JP?
Well, we'd like to bring everybody. We'll have to see what happens.
All right.
Rent a bus and bring the whole crew down.
It's going to be like the Partridge Family bus coming
Just,
down.
just don't bring any Bagleys, because I'll take them all.
Yeah,
That
because
dirty
you'll
bastard,
steal them,
yeah.
Mike. I
Yeah.
know you.
You're all invited, my friend. We're going to do Italian dinner this time in the garden. All right?
Absolutely, I appreciate that.
All
I'm
right.
looking forward to it.
All right, Pat. I
No
want to,
doubt.
Pat. I want to call you to the plate on something, and
Sure.
This is serious when I'm talking about this. We joke around
Okay.
a lot here. We say a lot of funny stuff, but this is a serious thing.
Okay.
You are solely responsible, good or bad, and you pick your take on it. You're
Okay.
solely responsible for making BTC famous.
What?
How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't know if that's actually an accurate statement.
Ruckus.
It's accurate.
I respectfully disagree with that, Mike Iaconelli. I think that Barry the Candlestick Maker was already a bass fishing personality prior to his appearance on the Stray Cats Outdoor Cartoon Television show.
I don't know. He never signed an autograph until after he was on your show, and now he
Is that true?
Yes, and now he signs hundreds of them. He fields hundreds daily.
Yes, boobies and foreheads he signed.
Whatever.
He does.
Yes, that is true. But
In fact, Pat, I don't know if you know this, but you made him so famous that his ghost came back from the dead.
I'm a huge fan of Bride's Ghost.
Oh my God! Wait a minute! What the?
Hey, Todd. Can I blow you?
That's dumb.
Brian's Ghost?
Your sack's
Fucking
mighty
outrageous.
taste. It's mighty taste. Thank you. Can I taste it once?
Is Brian's
Come
Ghost
on,
winning a
Dave. You're
hammer?
better than that.
Yeah, the Todd Hammer, please.
Boo.
Brian's ghost is.
Here's a true story, though, about ghosts. We had Seth Fider on the show last week, and he actually told us that he saw a cat ghost.
A ghost of his cat.
A ghost of a cat.
Here's
True story.
Romo. There's no cat ghosts. There's just men ghosts running
Spent
around.
too
No
much
women
time in
ghosts.
Minnesota.
Minnesota ghosts.
Becky's going to take your seat away, Dave.
Is Brian's ghost on Dilaudid right now?
Brian won't let him through. Brian won't let the spirit through.
Come through the porthole, Brian. Brian's ghost must come through the porthole.
Brian's ghost got a hotel dish rag.
Brian's shrouded in a jerk-off rag.
Has Brian's ghost ever Bill Cosby's Dave?
Yes. Me too. Me too, Dave. How do you think of me? Why do you think I'm dead? That Pollock killed me.
This is an outstanding edition of Ike Live Friday night, I want to tell you.
Stretching.
Better than me
That's
is
dumb.
Pete's not laughing face the whole time.
He was laughing during Mike's Asian carp impersonation. I saw that.
All right.
Yeah, Pete hates Asians.
Oh, God. Hey, how about we get on with the show?
Yeah. Dave,
God help us.
take a walk, Dave.
All right, so Pat.
Lord have mercy. Hey, I want to turn things around 360. If
All right,
that's okay with you guys.
let's turn things around. Let's talk
Straighten us
serious. Let's talk
Yeah.
some serious stuff.
Hold on, let me
What
shut
do we got?
Dave's mic off.
There's not. I am not serious most of the time, but this is a serious topic, and this is an opportune moment and an opportune show to bring up this topic. You guys do a lot of good work with the kids and getting kids into fishing. You know, and Mike, you are very influential
in getting kids into fishing. You know, I mean, hands down, dude. I got to compliment you on that. Got to compliment you on that.
Thank you.
It's a big deal. It is really a big deal. And I just want to bring some awareness to the fact that May is Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month. Okay? Totally switching gears, as you can see. But, you know, the fact of the matter is that over 30,000 kids in this country are affected by cystic fibrosis, okay? And for those that don't know, cystic fibrosis is a life-threatening disease, which unfortunately right now there is no cure for this disease. And it's a serious matter, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
May, again, is Cystic Fibrosis Month. All your listeners out there, all your fans, Mike, if they could just take a peek at fightcf.cff.org to maybe help contribute to finding that cure. Awareness is the key to finding the cure.
Yeah.
And you know, and again, it's a tough deal, man. I have a friend of mine, Kevin and Joe Higgins, and their son Nolan Higgins is a huge fan of yours, Mike, and he has cystic fibrosis. There's a big fundraiser coming up in, I believe, it's in July, and you can find that on fightcf.cff.org for Team Nolan. And Team Nolan has even adopted your slogan, Mike, the Never Give Up. Excuse me, the Never Give Up slogan for their team.
Yeah.
You know, and anything anybody can do could help. And I'm not here telling people to stop what you're doing, give a donation, but just educate yourself on this disease. Go to fightcf.cff.org. Find it in your hearts. If it's there, help find a cure. So, all I'm asking.
Well said, Pat.
Well said.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys
Very, very important.
remember, but my brother passed away from CF. My half-brother, Michael.
Mike Stock.
Yeah, you guys can't hear me out there. Remember my brother
I
Mike?
can hear you, Brian.
Yeah, my brother had cystic fibrosis. He passed away at 21.
21.
Yep.
Wow.
So,
That's tough.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, hate to
this
bring
one
it down, but it is a serious deal. And I mean, and think about all the kids that are more fortunate that out there, and at the same time think of kids that are less fortunate, if that makes any sense whatsoever. It's and kids like Nolan, man, the kid's an awesome fisherman. The kid's a little hammer. You know, I think Brian's got some pictures of him catching some fish on some Ike Dude combos that Aaron stole and sent to Nolan.
That is an Ike Dude combo.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So, yeah, guys, I appreciate the opportunity to do this, to talk about this on your show. I appreciate all you guys do for the Straight Cast Show, and I sincerely appreciate all that you guys do for the Bass Fishing Galaxy. Immensely, guys.
Wow, thank you, Pat.
Appreciate you, Pat.
Yeah, appreciate it. And thanks for bringing this up. Thanks for bringing this to light to people. It's important, so appreciate that.
Hey, Pat.
Absolutely, man. You guys take care. My Asian carp is burning. I got to give 10 to it here on the show. So.
Hey, Pat, it's Dave. Hit me up later on with how many bodies you're coming up with, man.
Okay, you got it. I will do. Thank you for the invite, bro.
You're the best, bud.
We'll see you.
All right, you guys take care.
Good
See you
night,
later.
Pat.
Thanks again.
Pat Renwick, everybody.
Awesome. Fight CF, bro.
Wow.
Hillshire Farms at Dave Brosnick's house.
I'll have me some Pat Renwick.
I hope Pat brings up the whole crew. That'd be cool, man.
Yeah.
Be cool hanging out with those guys.
Get them some legit.
They ain't like us, bro.
Italian food, man.
Yeah.
Them guys, they don't like the ball busting. I can tell you that right now.
Not at all. I
They
could
don't
tell
like
at
the
the
ball
classic it wasn't that way.
Really?
Not the same, dude.
Wow.
Pat can handle it. The rest of those guys,
People from Jersey, man.
They're not
We're a breed
ready.
of our own.
they're not ready for
You
us
hear the Christmas
dickheads.
thing where Pat had me call in and roast his whole crew?
Oh my god,
Oh, I smoked them.
They smoked them all.
Dave, they wanted to
Were
fight
they
you.
just speechless?
It was no laughs at all in the room.
Oh my God! It was
crickets.
silent.
I felt
Wow.
bad. I still feel bad. I'll never do it again. You know?
Don't worry, cooking.
I'll never do it again.
Since
That's what I'm
Christmas.
cooking for. That's what my wife's cooking for.
They're
Nah, man,
they're
good
still
people.
swole about it,
Yeah, they're
Dave.
good people, man.
That's funny.
It's my, you know.
Nah, it's not your fault, dude.
No, but the podcasts I listen to, you know, it's like BTO and them guys in Fear Fishing. That's it, man.
Yeah.
They're the three fishing podcasts I listen to.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Brian the Carpenter, we've got approximately just about, let's see.
30
It's about
seconds.
5 of 11. Well, what would you like to do? You want to just head out here? You want to sign out here in a couple minutes?
Yeah, dude.
All right, let's do that.
I've had enough.
Let me thank everybody
Pete,
for watching
speech.
and listening tonight. Pete, you got to admit, this has been a killer show. Dude. Killer show. Killer show. Let me real quick.
It's highs and lows.
It's had its highs and lows. Real quick, let me remind everybody, please check out the sponsors that help this show and support this show. Mystery Tackle Box. Use the promo code Ike Live. Get some money off your first tackle box. Liquid Mayhem, Ike Live 25. Real Snot, Ike Live 25. 25% off your first purchase. Flambeau. Use the promo code Ike Live, 20% off everything. Line Cutters, Ike Rules 20 for 20% off everything. And of course, Bass University. Use the promo code Ike Live, Pete. Get your first 30 days free. Check it out.
It's all you need.
Scope it.
And do not forget them Hobie kayaks. Get them on the side of your house, guys. You don't have to charge the batteries. You don't have nothing to worry about. There's no guilt about having it
Unless
there.
you get that mini power pole and the sonar units.
Elite
and,
7. And
All right, let's talk about Bass University and why you should.
For everybody watching and listening, if you want to go back and listen and watch old episodes of Ike Live, you can get them on IkeLive.com, iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, and the best of on Bassmaster.com. Man, if you're at iTunes, while you're there, please give us a comment. Give us a favorable comment. It'll help grow the show. Upcoming show, next show, Brian the Carpenter. Next show is May
24.
May
It's
24th.
a Thursday night.
Thursday night, next Ike Live show. I want to thank all our guests tonight. Start with the studio. Pete Glusick, John McGraw, Dave Brodzik, Brian the Carpenter, Eric the Intern. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you to our guests, Wesley Strader, Kevin Van Dam, Gene Gilliland,
Woo!
Asian Carp, and Pat Renwick. Thank you for joining us.
and
Brian's Ghost.
Brian's the ghost with the JO the towel wrapped
Yeah,
around him.
you got to work on your material, Dave.
Yeah, appreciate that. And thank you guys
Matt
for
Lee.
watching tonight. Matt Lee, thank you for turning back in. Stormtrooper,
he's still here.
thank you for coming back in. Appreciate it. And as usual, man, apologies to Dick Morris. We were supposed to have him on, but we just somehow
We're
ran
getting
out of
him
time.
on.
Hope everybody has a great weekend, a great night. We'll see you soon from Ike Live. Good night, everybody. Bye.